So today, the US Senate is set to pass the Omnibus 2023 federal budget for $1.7 trillion, an insane amount of money. And it will go through. And why is it called an Omnibus edition? Well, it's 4,000 pages long. No senator has read it. I can assure you that. And it's packed with loads of extras. All the funding for the UN, all the funding for, they've got beehives there, they've got fisheries, they've got salmon, they've got family planning. They've stuffed every single thing in one bill. So the way it's normally Parliament or your representative democracy is meant to work is every single thing gets voted. You want to do family planning bill, right? You have to get that passed, right? You have to take it to the Congress or the Senate, and they have to pass it. You want your, your diversity spending. You have to take that forward, and that has to be approved. And then the federal budget is for the basic things, the roads, the military, things like that. They said, forget it. We know what they did. They've dragged it to the end, and they said this is just before Christmas, and they've said, listen, do you want a federal shutdown? Because if you don't pass this now, we've got a federal shutdown. That's it. There's no more spending allowed to be spent into January. So either you all pass it now, or we're going to have a shutdown. Now, these senators and congressmen want this because they're using this to cover themselves. Well, oh, really? We voted for that diversity thing and for those beehives and for the $100 billion to Ukraine. The Russian military budget for 2022 was $65 billion. Ukraine just got $100 billion from the US alone. They just got another $50 billion from the EU and the UK. So the Ukraine currently has double the military budget of Russia. Let's just put that in perspective. Anyway, continuing. So you want to spend $100 billion on Ukraine? Absolutely no problem. We've got no problem with that. And the congressman can say, listen, we didn't know, we had to pass this budget, otherwise there was going to be a shutdown. It's the uni party, again, passing bills. There's no real difference between Democrats and Republicans. Oh, they know exactly what's going on, and they're just passing it. For the Republicans, they're using it as cover. For the Democrats, they're proving, look how good they are, and it works. And then there's nothing really needed to be passed in 23, not a single funding bill needed, because it's already been approved in one bill. That's your democracy, guys. 4 bills a year, and that's it. That's basically all they need to do. That's your democracy. All right? I think an autocracy, a king has to do more because he has to actually get involved in every single bill. A king doesn't approve everything in his kingdom in one go. Right? They don't go, right, we just need your one stamp of approval for everything that's going to go on for the year. Well, that's what happens now. So it's absolutely absurd. Now, the second thing you have to note is any tax raises in this 1.7 trillion? No. The US hasn't really raised taxes since 2013, and that wasn't even a tax. That's Obamacare. That was an increasing in your medical insurance, basically. Pretty much they have had no tax raises because the US has learned we've got a reserve currency. Before they were a bit scared to abuse the power of having a reserve currency. And you should know what that means. Reserve currency means they create dollars out of thin air and they give that out to people. They give that out to the world. So someone needs dollars in France or England, they give it out and they've just printed it out of thin air. So they've created $100 and they go, French person, give me real value, give me your goods, give me your wine, give me your cheese, and I'll give you this print fake $100. And the Frenchman goes, oh wow, that's amazing, I've got $100. What did you get? You got nothing. But that's what they do. So they have a reserve currency. 70% of all trade is done in dollars, meaning even people, France wanting to trade with Bulgaria, well, not Bulgaria, they're in Europe, France wanting to change with China, they convert into dollars and then back into thing, and then back into yuan. And China wants to buy from France into dollars and then back into euros. And so that's the reserve currency. So they've got this reserve currency status. They were a bit scared. They didn't want to abuse it. But now it's just like, forget about it, guys. We're just going to town. We'll just keep printing and keep giving out these dollars. We will not raise taxes. We will use debt. Debt financing means going to the markets and taking on selling treasuries. Who buys those treasuries? The Fed. And the Fed just does that by printing dollars, increasing the money supply in the global system. No one seems to care. The dollar, the DXY, is very strong now. Doesn't matter what they do. They said they were going to do QT. They really haven't. A joke amount, piddly amount of money. And that's it. They've just realized no one cares. No one cares. They can get away with murder, and that's why we've got this omnibus. We've got spending on the most crazy causes in the world. We've got 100 billion going to Ukraine. We've got all this printed money, and that's the world we are, guys. No one is being told. It's literally you're watching people commit murder, committing thievery, and no one is doing anything. This is the world we're in now. Absolute insanity. In the UK, oh my gosh. They have an absolute economic collapse like I've never seen in my life. Nurses on strike. They were offered 9% pay increase. Not good enough for them. And giving rubbish service. You can't get an appointment there. You can't get a GP appointment. You can't even get antibiotics. Absolute nightmare, right? That's the National Death Service. That's what they have in the UK. So you've got this craziness there. You've got postal strikes. You've got rail strikes. As normal, again, no one's saying anything. Absolutely no word from the Prime Minister for months. Sunak, he doesn't say a word. He doesn't want to stick his neck out. He doesn't want to cause any trouble. They also huge amounts of benefit spending. They just took in 500,000 people last year. Legal immigrants, by the way, not illegal. Legal immigrants, right? Where is it going? I don't know where we are. It's really getting worse and worse and worse all over the place, everywhere. I don't know where this stops. The insanity just goes on.